Hello everybody and welcome to my video on Armored XYZ. Dkayed revealed on his stream a couple of days ago that this archetype will be added to Master Duel soon. It's most likely going to be added in the April selection pack. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different from normal, since Armored XYZ is just an engine and cannot make a deck on their own. So today I'll tell you all about the Armored XYZ archetype, go through the new cards and show you a standard combo with the engine. But before we get into it, consider leaving a like on the video if I helped you out today, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Armored XYZ is an archetype all about ranking up XYZ monsters with similar mechanics to Zeus or Downer, using specifically ranks 3 through 6. Black Ray and Crystal Zero have been in the game since launch, but don't see a lot of play because they're locked to rank 3 and 5 waters respectively. They have synergy with the new cards, which will make them much more playable. Speaking of, let's go through the leaked cards, and I want to preface this with that it's currently unconfirmed exactly which cards in the archetype are going to be added. I'll go through all of their unreleased cards for the sake of completion, but if you're watching this in the future and you can't find Utopia in Master Duel, you know why. Armored XYZ has 4 unreleased XYZ cards and 3 unreleased spell and trap cards. Starting from the smallest and working our way up, we have Torpedo. Torpedo cannot be summoned using another XYZ as material. Unlike the rest of the archetype, it requires 2 level 3s and has 3 effects. The first is a simple detach 2 to draw 1, not bad at all. The other 2 effects only activate if Torpedo is equipped to a monster, and the archetype has ways to accomplish this, more on that in a little bit. So when it's equipped, if the equipped monster battles, it gets a similar effect to Ancient Gear Golem, preventing the opponent from activating cards and effects in the damage step. It also negates the effects of all face-up monsters the opponent controls. It's pretty impressive. Battle traps aren't a common occurrence in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, but being able to negate all of the opponent's monsters is great. The archetype does have other ways to achieve this, and those effects can be used in the main phase. Nonetheless, Torpedo is still a good rank 3 with interesting effects. Next is Fortress. It's a rank 5 and can be XYZ summoned using rank 3 or 4 monsters. It can of course also be summoned the normal way, requiring 2 level 5s. It has 2 effects and 1 restriction. It can detach up to 2 material to add an equal amount of Armored XYZ cards with different names from the deck. Since there's 2 Armored XYZ cards, a spell and a trap, the targets for this search are obvious. While Fortress is equipped to a monster, that monster deals double battle damage. In comparison to Torpedo's effect looks a lot better. Finally, the restriction: it cannot be used as XYZ material while itself has material. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to clear the material under Fortress, and it lets us search 1 or 2 cards while we do it. Dark Knight Lancer is the big boss for the archetype. It's a rank 7 XYZ, and it needs 3 level 7s as material. It can also be summoned using either a level 5 or 6 XYZ monster. It gains 300 attack for each material and equipped card. Once per turn, we can target an XYZ card in our graveyard and add it to our hand, and that's a card with XYZ in the name, not the card type. Once per turn, if a card becomes equipped to a monster we control, we can attach a monster the opponent controls to Lancer as material. So through Fortress and Dark Knight, we can convert any rank 3 or 4 into really strong disruption. Dark Knight also recycles our spells and traps for later turns. Our trap, Full Armored XYZ, makes it really easy to trigger Dark Knight's attach effect. If we have an XYZ on the field, it allows us to XYZ summon using monsters we control. And then we can banish it from the graveyard to target 1 XYZ monster we control and equip a monster from our graveyard to it. While the card is equipped, the monster on the field gains the attack of the equipped monster, so if we equip Torpedo to Dark Knight, it gains 2500 attack. Also, if the monster on the field would be destroyed, we can destroy the equipped card instead. This is our bread and butter trap card and allows us to summon both Dark Knight and trigger it. Fantastic. Armored XYZ, it shares the latter effect of Full Armored XYZ, allowing us to equip a monster from our graveyard to an XYZ on the field. While equipped, the monster's attack becomes the equipped monsters. So if we equip Torpedo to Dark Knight, it would be set to 2500 attack. Its attributes also changes to match. At the end of the battle step, we can send the equipped monster to the graveyard to attack a second time. It's a solid OTK enabler and helps us trigger Dark Knight, and is super easily searched with Fortress. XYZ Entrust adds an Armored XYZ card from the deck or graveyard to our hand, and then it can modulate 2 monsters on the field's level to be either 3 or 5. We can banish it from the graveyard to special summon an XYZ monster that is treated as an equipped card. It's alright, but I suspect we won't see too many decks running this card. The archetype already has a very easy search in Fortress, and Fortress doesn't rot in our hand. Utopic Ray, I suspect we won't get this card until later, but I'm always open to being happily surprised. It's a rank 4 and needs 3 level 4s as material. It can also be summoned using a rank 4 or lower as material, but we need to discard a spell or trap as cost. It has 3 effects. Monsters our opponent controls lose 500 attack while Utopic Ray is on the field. Once per battle phase, at the start of the battle phase, we can negate the effects of all of the opponent's monsters in attack position. If we manage to beat over a monster with Utopic Ray, we can attack again. It's an interesting card, but doesn't synergize super well with the rest of the archetype, leaning more into being generic rank 4 support. Finally, the older cards Black Ray and Crystal Zero. Black Ray is not very impressive, boiling down to an MST if we destroy a monster in battle. Crystal Zero, however, can, by detaching one material, negate the effects of all face-up monsters the opponent controls with no drawback. It also has protection from destruction and boosts its own attack by 500 for each material. It needs 3 level 6 water monsters, but can also be summoned using a rank 5 water XYZ. So we can use Fortress as material to get Crystal Zero out, and since it's a rank 6 we can summon Dark Knight using Crystal Zero as material after using its negate, giving the archetype a very nice setup for OTKs. And that's Armored XYZ. Let's take a look at a combo with the archetype. So for this combo you will need any rank 3 or 4 with 1 or fewer material. For the demonstration I'm using a simple Tour Guide into Torpedo line, but any deck that can produce a rank 3 or 4 in their combo can do this. We begin by summoning Tour Guide and using its effect to summon Sangan. We take those 2 and go into Torpedo and use its effect to draw 1. Summon Fortress using a rank 3 or 4 of your choice. Use Fortress effect to detach all of its material and search either 1 or 2 cards. If you search 1, just add full armored. Set the full armored and we're done for our turn. You can now continue your main engine's combo or just pass. Once the opponent's turn start, we use the full armored to XYZ summon Dark Knight, and we can at then any point banish the trap and equip Torpedo from the grave. This triggers Dark Knight's effect to attach one of the opponent's monsters to it as material. We can hold our full armored trap to avoid targeted effects on our Fortress, or we can use it in the draw phase to set up the attach effect on Dark Knight as soon as possible. I don't have a deck list for you today, but we've gone through the entire archetype in detail. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a friend of the channel, leave a like on the video, subscribe and leave a comment with what deck you're looking forward to using Armored XYZ in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!